How's it going, guys? RangoVidsManga12 here, and we are finally reviewing Spider-Man the Other Evolve or Die. And the reason why I say finally is because I have been saying that I'm going to be reviewing this for months. Like, I said it before Christmas, I said it after Christmas, and then I said it again, and now we're finally reviewing it. And this is actually one of the more complicated sagas of the Amazing Spider-Man storyline and stuff, because it actually does take place over 12 issues. And if you've seen my reviews for the One More Day saga, then it's similar to that. You remember in the One More Day saga where it took place over Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Sensational Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man? Well, this is the same. So this saga actually takes place over Marvel Knight Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and stuff like that. So the very first part to this saga, so Spider-Man the Other Part 1, actually takes place in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Issue 1. So that is what we're going to be reviewing today. And also, guys, to keep track and stuff like that, if you see that like massive tab on the comic cover that says The Other, well, if you go down, it says Evolve or Die Part 1 of 12. So this is Part 1. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, next one is going to be Part 2 and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I think that's enough of the talking. Maybe just a bit of backstory. You can see it on the screen now, if you just want to read that. But I might as well give you a little bit of backstory as well. So, you know, like how we've just had the Spider-Verse where all the Spider-Men come together? Well, in the Spider-Verse, we actually found out that Morlun was afraid of 616 Spider-Man, and this story actually explains why. It turned out that 616 Spider-Man was the only person to ever kill Morlun, like actually beat Morlun. So this is what this story is about. This is why this saga is so famous in the Amazing Spider-Man storylines and stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get into it anyway. I know the comic's already started, but as you could see on the screen there, Morlun was put in a body in a morgue, and Peter actually thinks that it's him that is in the body bag. But then we also see Kraven and Uncle Ben. Now, Uncle Ben was actually holding some dice with snake eyes on it. Now, those snake eyes actually get revealed to us at the end of the issue, so I'm not exactly going to tell you right now, but it does have something to do with Morlun. Now, as we go into the next page, we get a new villain, or well, back when this issue was out, it was a new villain. I don't know if he's a new villain anymore, but regardless, moving further into the comic, as you can see, Spider-Man is on his way, and like all bank robbers, they always make sure that they haven't got any cans of paint in the money, because the moment they open that bag and paint explodes, it basically renders the money useless. And as you can see, I absolutely love this part because Spider-Man says, because you still have that new bad guy smell. And if you've ever been in a new car, then when you get a new car, like, the smell is just so nice. So for him to say that about a new villain was just awesome. And especially with these new bullets, each villain has their own, you know, kind of characteristic, their own sort of signature weapon. And in this case, this guy has bullets that follow you. They even go to the trouble of dodging every other person except Spider-Man. So that is some pretty high-tech stuff. But anyway, moving on to the actual comic in general, I actually think that art in this comic is pretty good. I mean, it's a nice take. It kind of reminds me of Ultimate Spider-Man artwork of it, you know, in Mark Bagley, and a little bit of La Fuente in there. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, it looks awesome. And yeah, so as we can see in the comic, he's walked back into the bank now that Spider-Man is occupied with those following bullets. And we actually discover that this villain in particular is called Tracer. So it was a new villain a minute ago, and now we actually know that he's called Tracer. Maybe in the future comics maybe he's an actual just original villain, but I don't really know anyone called Tracer in the Spider-Man comics. You know, that is really well known, especially because the other saga actually took place before One More Day. So when the saga of One More Day came around, Mephisto actually got rid of everything, like erased a part of the Civil War and all that crazy stuff. So yeah, all of this might have been a little bit reset, but yeah, so as we can see, we're actually getting a call from Captain America, and MJ has actually told Captain America about Peter having these dreams about the morgue and about him maybe being in the dead body and stuff like that. And we're actually having a flashback of Captain America teaching Peter how to control his chi, how to channel his energy, and how to focus on what he wants and to achieve it through his willpower of body chi and stuff like that. So he does that with these bullets because obviously they're not going to slow down, they're not going to stop following him. And he puts his hands up and opens his eyes to the bullet actually in his hand, and it looks awesome. And then the next minute we actually come to realization, and the bullets have gone straight through Peter, and he falls on the floor and ends up being knocked out. And at first I actually thought that he did stop the bullets, but then you've got to think about it that Peter isn't bulletproof, he's still a human being. So yeah, Anyway, moving on, we then go to Dr. Castillo, or Castillo, however you guys want to pronounce it. I'm going to say Castillo, and she actually is like bandaging up Peter's wounds and stuff like that, but she's actually done it for a number of superheroes, including Captain America, and it turns out that she has to do some blood work on Peter Parker and stuff like that, so eventually she's going to figure out Peter's identity, whether he likes it or not. And then we go back over to MJ and Peter, and of course MJ isn't happy with the fact that Peter has just been shot twice, once in the shoulder and another in the hand, and he still wants to go back out and be Spider-Man, especially with this thing about Peter having dreams about him being dead and all of this, and MJ is just not happy with it. We also discover that Spider-Man actually put a spider tracer on Tracer, the villain, and now he's actually going to go find him. And of course, with the villain actually being called Tracer, I imagine that he can probably hear the frequency of Peter's spider tracer on his suit, and it actually turns out that the spider tracer is leading to this limo, and of course it looks like that Tracer has actually bought like this limo with his money and stuff like that he robbed from the bank. Spider-Man crushes the car as he lands on it, causes it to crash, and of course the last person you would ever expect to be in this car, well, I suppose you could expect it, but who knows, maybe Tracer is actually working for this guy, but it is actually J. Jonah Jameson that is in this limo, which means that JJ is either working with the Tracer, or the Tracer basically just set Spider-Man up for probably the worst press report ever, because the Tracer is on the limo, and that doesn't make sense, so yeah. But either way, we go back to Peter, obviously exhausted from the kind of day he's had, and he actually gets a phone call from Dr. Castillo, who actually, you know, bandaged up his wounds and stuff like that, helps Captain America and helps Spider-Man and the other superheroes. And of course, she actually had to do a blood test on him, so not only does she know his secret identity, but she's also found out something really strange in his blood work. It turns out that something is really wrong with his blood, and as you can see there, Morlun is stood there saying Snake Eyes, and that can only mean that Peter has been having those dreams of the Snake Eyes because Morlun is coming after him. And it is awesome. Now, of course, in the Spider-Verse, we know that 616 Spider-Man is probably the best Spider-Man out of all of them. He's beaten Morlun before, and this is the time that he actually beat Morlun, and that is why Morlun is afraid of 616 Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. Now, it's really interesting to see Morlun, you know, not afraid of 616 Spider-Man because he hasn't experienced being defeated by him yet, so that I'm looking forward to that. I thought this issue was really good. I thought that art was really interesting, as I've already said. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's nice to actually start Spider-Man the Other Evolve or Die finally, as I've already said at the beginning of this review. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Of course, don't forget to go to the link in the description to my Facebook page and Twitter. I always preview comics there on my Facebook page that aren't even released yet. And yeah, also I post stuff about my, you know, when my videos are going up and stuff. So yeah, make sure you hit the like button on this video, go hit the like button on my Facebook page, and of course don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video.